Today, I'm going to put my terrarium building skills to the test and turn this old bottle into a thriving ecosystem. Welcome to today's project, where we're going to be turning this ordinary Dr. Pepper bottle into a beautiful self-sustaining ecosystem. First I lay it on its side. This will give me more room to work and make the terrarium seem bigger than if it was just standing upright. First I begin by pouring some specially made terrarium soil into the jar. I got this from Ant Antics, if anyone's wondering. This is helpful to me as the soil around me is mostly clay. You can see this in my other terrariums. As it is not possible to get my hands into the bottle, it's difficult to pour anything inside, but don't worry, I've got some tricks up my sleeve. I'll need to use some specialised tools like this tiny shovel. This should make it a lot easier. This isn't working very well, so we need to find another way. To counter this bad shovel usage, I'll try and make a funnel out of paper, but I'm not very good at making stuff out of paper, so this took me a lot longer than it should have. But eventually, I finally got it to work. It didn't look very good, but it did work. This was until I discovered that none of it was going through and it was all just getting stuck in the top of the funnel, so that was lovely. I also made a pretty big mess, so I guess I didn't then. Okay, let's try that again. I got this little mini hoover out to clean up all the mess, and it worked surprisingly well for how small it is. This was the terrarium once I turned it on its side. As we can see, the soil is still pretty deep even though we didn't use a ton of it. This is good because that means we're not wasting any, and saves me money. So the next step in this process was to collect some moss from outside, so that's exactly what I did, and I went and got some moss from outside my front door. This next step I need to use some long tweezers so I can reach deep inside the bottle. But I just read moss as moss, so that's lovely. But moss isn't exactly a solid object, so it fell apart whilst I was trying to get it in, which didn't exactly help since it was already a very awkward thing to do. Finally, I got all the moss in and this is what it was looking like. I was pretty proud of this, but I thought it was still missing something, so I decided to go get a plant. This plant is called a polka dot plant due to its spotty pattern. I'm going to be putting this in the middle of the terrarium to add a focal point. But this is when I realised I probably should have added the moss after I put the plant in, because it was just ripping up all the moss and I could not get it into the soil. I decided to put some water in the terrarium to make it a little bit easier to stick it into the soil and make it stay. I then put all the moss that came out of the terrarium back inside in the right places. Finally, here's the grand reveal. Check out how beautiful it turned out. It's amazing to think that this used to be an empty Dr. Pepper bottle just a few minutes ago. This shows that even junk could be turned into something beautiful. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. Also check out my channel for more videos just like this one. See you in the next one.